everybody. Welcome on back. It has been a very, very long time, but we are back on our feet. We are up and moving, and we are doing the Banana Pod. I'm Renilius. I'm a Twitch streamer and lover of all things games. And you are?
Who am I? I've been called so many things. I believe I'm Foxheart.
Okay. How you been, man? It's been like, we haven't done this in like 3 months. It has been quite the while.
It's been a little while, just getting better every day.
Getting better every day, yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's been a long month. It's been a long summer. It's been a long summer. Rolling back into the fall, rolling back into the winter. Frost on the ground in the morning up by you yet?
Yeah, it's been like that for about a week.
Oh, we hit now 40 degrees Fahrenheit this week. I know that's
That sounds like
freedom units.
That sounds like a made up unit of measurement.
Yeah, in case you guys aren't familiar, Foxheart is in the Great White North, in the land we call Canada, and I am down here in America. So it's really hard when we get down to talk about weather because 40 degrees to me is cold, and I'm pretty sure that's like really hot to you, right?
That's like probably around 100 Fahrenheit would be 40 degrees.
Oh yeah. Oh my God. Okay. See, I have no concept. I'm very typical American. We have no concept. We only care about ourselves and our miles and our gallons and our Fahrenheit. So when we try to expose ourselves to other cultures, we don't do so well.
Yeah. Don't expose yourself.
No exposure here. So have you've been playing games? I would assume you've been playing games while we've been gone, right?
Yeah, maybe one or two.
One or two? Okay. I have actually been playing 1 or 2 games myself since then. So I think this is the perfect time for us to sit down and talk about it. Today, there was a huge, something I'm super excited about. I thought we should talk about is, did you grow up playing the GTA series, like as a kid on the PS2?
I wasn't a kid, but
okay.
I loved Vice City. I didn't play anything before Vice City, I don't think, really. Not much.
Okay.
And when Vice City came out, I played the shit out of it.
Vice City was good. So I was probably, I want to say like 7 years old when GTA 3 came out on the PS2. And you're talking about a kid that had a Dreamcast at the time with like Sonic the Hedgehog on it. My eyes were open to a world that I couldn't even believe. I go over to his house and I'm like, you can drive cars and you can steal and you can run people over and kill. I was blown away. So those games, Vice City, one of my absolute favorites. And then I think did you play San Andreas?
Not as much as Vice City, but I did play it, yeah.
San Andreas, I mean, if you look at the scale of San Andreas and the fact that they made the game in like a year and a half, it is just absolutely insane. Rockstar was really on their shit back then. And they're continuing with the industry trend where all of us boomers are sitting here with nostalgia colored glasses and we want to feel young again and play the games we loved. And they announced worst kept secret in gaming a couple weeks ago. They announced hey, we're doing remasters of the original trilogy. Cool. Well, today the trailer came out and they look fucking insane. So I want to hear what you thought because I was like, this is cool. I'm super ready for it. But I think you might have different expectations than me.
Well, first off, it looks super weird.
Okay.
I can't even explain it. It just doesn't look right to me. I think it went from it was trying to be realistic, like back in the PS2 days, and now it just looks like a cartoon.
When's the last time you played it though? Realistically. When's the last time you remember seeing those games? It's been a long time for me.
I played it I was playing them on my phone probably 5 years ago or something like that.
Okay, so 5 years ago. I mean, that's a long time, but really not a super long time ago. So maybe it isn't that far off. But for me, I remember them looking exactly how the remaster looks, except for they have hands now. They added fingers, which is huge because before they were I don't know if you remember, they had the hands like this.
Well, of course.
And so I'm super excited that we're getting finger physics now, and we're and I don't know. I think $60 is what it's announced at, and I see people ranging all over the internet that are fucking pissed about it, that are excited about it. I personally think $60 for 3 games with a remaster and all new controls is super worth it.
Yeah, I was gonna ask about the controls because last time I played it, the controls were so bad, and I even remember playing those games, and like at the time, the controls being bad, like shooting, compared to actual shooters, it was just terrible. So
yeah, go ahead.
If they made it, if they make it feel good to actually run around and shoot, that's a good thing.
They said they gave it GTA 5's control scheme, so I'm pretty excited about that personally. I think GTA 5 I recently played it for the first time and beat it on stream, and it controls amazingly. So I think that the fact that that control scheme is going to be on these classic games does nothing but bode well.
Yeah, I don't think GTA controls 5 even controls that well. I
really?
mean, it's serviceable, but the shooting doesn't feel like a shooter, right? And then the driving does not feel like a driving sim. Like,
right?
They're like kind of discount versions of like, and the platforming and the running doesn't feel like a platformer. Like nothing feels.
Oh, the physics are definitely weird. The physics of GTA 5 are definitely weird. I can agree with you there. I like the driving in the GTA games. I know there's
like the online. I spent hours and hours racing because like GTA Online is just so fun, like all the different races, but it still doesn't feel good.
See, I just did the story mode, and I thought the driving felt fine. I never would get into the racing because it is very arcadey. It's very chaotic, and just like, especially with me, I just smash into everything. So I never got like too into the driving, so I can see where if you're like racing people, you could definitely feel that way. But for me, I think it's a lot better than GTA 4. I don't know if you ever played GTA 4 or not, but that game had really bad driving physics. It had some of the worst of all. So it was such a huge departure from there that I really liked it.
Oh, it's definitely better as far as like compared to previous Grand Theft Autos, but it's still not good.
Fair. I mean, I think it's yet to be seen. You know, I'm trying to keep my expectations low because I wanted the games to hold up. I'm really worried about them holding up in a modern era versus what's okay now. You know what I'm saying? Like some of the humor might be questionable.
Yeah. Yeah. I wonder if they're gonna like pass through with like edits and stuff and just change things.
I think that's going to be yet to be seen. And I'm really concerned about the music. I'm sure with you connecting really closely with Vice City, you remember the music, right?
I mean, that was so long ago, so
oh, dude, it had the best. It had such a good 80s soundtrack. I mean, that's like, I specifically remember like driving along, hitting jumps with Iran playing in the background. And I'm just like, I need that again. Like, I need it again. I need to be wearing my white suit, you know, my white Miami suit, and just listen to 80s music is what I need.
Yeah. I wonder if they're going to relicense all the music, or like they're going to like remix it a little bit and get different licenses. But as far as the price goes, I think it's a bit steep.
Really?
Yeah.
You think $60 is a bit much? Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I do.
So you're Game Pass, Greg. I know you love Game Pass. So they're adding just San Andreas, the Legendary Edition, is going to be on Game Pass.
Oh, that's sweet. That's probably the only one I want to play.
Okay. Yeah, so San Andreas one will be on Game Pass, and then PlayStation Now is getting GTA 3 remastered.
And where's Vice City going?
Nowhere. That's the cherry. That's the cherry to get you to spend the $60.
Yeah, I feel like it's steep for a remaster.
It's fair. I mean, I think like if you look at Tony Hawk 1 and 2 remastered, I think that was a $40 game, wasn't it? I might be wrong. You know,
I don't know.
You guys can fact check me in the comments below. I could be wrong, but I feel like Tony Hawk was $40. So and that was 2 games. So 3 games for $60. It's $20 a game. I feel like $20 is not a bad deal for, depending on how good it is. If it's good, then I think it's worth it. If the game is bad, then probably not worth it. So I think it's yet to be seen, but.
Yeah, I just feel like
knowing me,
bought those games on my phone for like $5 each, like 10 years ago.
Inflation. We're in an era of inflation, man.
Yeah.
So I mean, $20. Look, it's coming out November the 11th. I'm probably gonna buy it on release day because those games are so much about who I am now. I think I'll do it, but I'll definitely have to report back. And I want to know how you feel about it. We'll have to touch base on this and see, because I think you're gonna like it more than you remember you would have. Especially because San Andreas is such a treat for the story of it.
Yeah, I just like it depends how much work they really put into it. Like watching a 1 minute trailer doesn't really give you the feel of the controls and exactly everything, right? So if it's like a really like they've changed a lot and like put a lot of work into it, it's not horrendous pricing. I still think it's a bit high though.
As long as the cheat codes work, like if they took the cheat codes out, we might have a problem. But as long as I can still spawn an army tank and cause havoc, like just for that just a crumb of nostalgia, I'll take it. So we'll check back in a couple weeks. It's I have plenty enough games to keep me busy until then, and I just think for the amount of time it would take to beat those 3 games, it's a pretty good value. So we'll see. I think the fact that it's on Game Pass gives us a chance for you to try it, me to try it, and let's talk here in a couple weeks about it. Fair?
Yeah, sounds good.
All right. So, God of War. Did you play God of War PS4?
I did not. I played I used to play like the OG God of Wars. Like I like those games. But I never played the newest one.
So, I have not either. And for me, the whole reason I bought that thing right there is Sony was notorious for not bringing their first-party titles to anything but their consoles, which is fair because that's what they've always done. That's their whole selling point. Totally get it. Well, they announced that God of War is coming to PC in January, I think, which is pretty wild because that is like the last Sony property I thought would ever go cross-console or cross-platform. But I'm very excited about it because I think that it's going to help it sell a ton.
Well, like they've already brought like Horizon Zero Dawn and like Days Gone. So like I'm not shocked by this.
Okay, you're not. Okay, fair. I just thought the God of War was like that's like that's like Sony's like I think that's really kind of probably their longest running series that's really out there.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's still going probably. Ratchet and
PS2
Clank, maybe.
Ratchet. I mean, I guess it depends if you look at this as a reboot or not. God of War, if this is kind of a continuation of the story, whereas the Ratchet and Clank was based off of the movie that was rebooted, I believe. So it kind of depends on what you look at. Yeah. So you didn't know that. So the new Ratchet and Clank series, the one that came out, is based off of a game, or is a game based off of a movie that's a reboot of the series.
I don't think it is. I think you're making that up.
You have to fact check me after stream or after the podcast here.
There was a Ratchet and Clank, like the one before Rift Apart, was like a remake of the first one, and then the movie, the Ratchet and Clank movie, is like 5 or 6 years old. So I don't know how this game is like connected to that, but
yeah, the Ratchet and Clank 2016 is based off of the movie, which is weird. But you have to fact check me.
Yeah,
fact check me. I'm pretty sure I'm right, but we can talk about it.
Did you say Ratchet and Clank 2016?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Reboot.
Yes,
it's a reboot based on the movie.
Yeah, but there's Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, which came out like this year or last year.
Yeah, which is the sequel to that one, which is the reboot of the movie.
Well, I don't think that like counts as being like a new series. It's still the same series.
Okay, that's fair. That's what I was asking you, is if you thought if it counted as a full series, a new series or not.
This God of War is nothing. I wouldn't say nothing, but it's very, very different than the old God of Wars. It's basically a soft reboot.
Yeah, more or less a soft reboot, but it still takes place after 3, right? Because it's Kratos after he's killed the gods and he's living his life out in the shed, and it's like all like Norse mythology now.
I think
the chains are off of him.
Changed it in some way.
I don't know. I haven't played it.
I'm not an expert, but like I seem to remember like his family being dead in the first game.
Yeah, I don't know. He did kill. I mean, he did kill his family. So I'm not an expert. I'm sure there's plenty of experts that'll have plenty of things to say. But I thought that I thought it was a kind of a soft reboot, and he like met a new girl, and he was like a new man, and
Oh,
made
is
a
that what
baby,
this
and
is? Okay, so
yeah,
it's a new family. With
it's a new family, and they're trying to figure out what happened to his new wife or his new baby mama, and
Okay.
he's got a boy now, and yeah, it's pretty interesting. So anyway, the biggest thing for me is that not only is it a PC port, it's a good PC port. It's going to support ultra wide. It's going to support DLSS, which is huge, right? Like,
Yeah, that's weird because like it's built on like AMD, right? Like
yeah, the PlayStation and Radeon, like the PS4 and the PS5 are both AMD built, and they're supporting NVIDIA DLSS. So
yeah, that's
that
true.
says to me that like, holy shit, they're actually pretty serious about bringing this to PC, and it's only $40. So let's talk about that. That's a good deal.
Yeah, that's fair price. I know Horizon Zero Dawn had some issues on PC when it came out,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not sure about like Days Gone, but I know like the PlayStation PC ports haven't been great as far as like for like technically like,
Mm-hmm.
but I think they've patched it to make it run better. But it had like issues.
See, for me, I will definitely still be playing the Sony exclusives on the Sony console, just because pretty sure they're gonna run better there. But no, I definitely. I heard about Horizon. I don't know anything about Days Gone though.
Yeah. The thing is, they shouldn't run better on PlayStations.
They shouldn't. Like yeah, like I have a 3080 in this PC. It should run a PS4 game like beautifully, right? Like especially with DLSS, I should be like locked at 144 4K without an issue.
I know
But will that actually happen?
the issue with specifically Horizon was like the game engine was built to run that game at 30 because that's how it came out, right? And so then when it was on PC, trying to run it at 60 just caused all kinds of problems.
It's hard to game at 30 frames a second anymore. It's pretty tough.
And
It's a tough ask.
that was the same problem if you remember, like the terrible launch of Avengers.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was because the game engine was built around 30.
Yeah.
So trying to run it at high frame rates on PC just was like, it was way harder on the CPU and everything that it needed to be just because the game was built around 30.
Yeah.
So that's what happened to Horizon, but like I think they fixed it, and especially since Sony just recently came out with like the 60 frames patch for Horizon for the PS5 version.
Wish they would. I played. If you play Bloodborne, even on the PS5, it's still 30 frames a second, and it's almost unplayable.
Well,
it's rough, man. 30 frames is a rough frame rate.
That's only in quality mode. In performance mode, it has a 60 frames per second mode.
Bloodborne? Yes. I don't think does it. I'm gonna have to fact check you on that one because I'm pretty positive it's 1080. It's
All right, I was thinking of Demon's Souls.
Yeah, Demon's Souls on the PS5 has a quality and visual fidelity mode where it'll go 1440p or it'll go 4K 30.
Yeah. So yeah, Bloodborne's probably 30. Yeah, I was thinking of a completely different game, but like I feel like it's just when you're in that console space, you just get used to it, and everything just feels like that.
Well, yeah, I played Demon's Souls the other night on my TV here, and 30 frames a second, 4K. It was fine. Like it looked fine. But some games they just seem to be a nice smooth 30, and it's acceptable. It works depending on the game. And then other games you're like 30 frames a second. What the fuck's going on here? It really does vary wildly for me specifically. I don't know. It's just one of those things, but I feel pretty confident that God of War is going to run at 144 frames a second on everybody's PC, and it's too big to fail. It's too big to fail. Sony's going to make so much money hand over fist off of this port. I think personally they're going to make so much money off of it that it can't fail. It's going to, with them putting the ultra wide effort into it and all that, I just think it's going to honestly probably be one of the Steam's top selling games.
We'll see. Like, it's an older game. I feel like people who really like that game and like who like that style of game probably already played it.
that is something to be thought about too. I think a lot of people bought consoles just to play God of War. But I'm excited for it. It shows Sony making an effort.
Yeah.
We'll see if it's a true effort or not. But like you said, it is a little bit of an older game. And speaking of older games and older franchises, Battlefield. Battlefield as a modern shooter. The 2042 is the one. I think it's like a spiritual successor to Battlefield 4. I think the beta for that came out recently, and I'm pretty sure I saw you playing it.
Yes, and I'm super happy that they like brought it back into like modern, even though it's like semi-futuristic. You got all those weird Boston Dynamic type dogs running around and shit. But
yeah, it's still very blue and gray. I noticed it's very blue, very gray, and there's lots of weather still, so that stays the same.
Yeah, but like I couldn't get into like the World War I, World War II, like Battlefield 1, Battlefield 5. Did not like them.
I don't think, for me, the old war games don't resonate with me. It's just they're not interesting to me.
Yeah.
It's been done. It's been done since Call of Duty 1. It's like we got World War I maps, we got Thompsons and MP40s and barbed wire and Normandy, and it's just like, okay, what else you got? Yeah. There's only so many ways you can redo it. So I think they tried to, I know they tried to do a lot of interesting things with 5, and it just wasn't it, Chief. And
no,
from what I understand, all intents and purposes, it was a good multiplayer, but nobody cared about it. And then it had a failed battle royale, and nobody cared about it.
Yeah.
So they are like, well, shit, what are we gonna do? Let's go back to what worked. Everyone wants Battlefield 4. We'll give them Battlefield 4.
The problem with 5 is like that battle royale came out too late. If you like, Battlefield always has like a good launch, and then everyone abandons that game in like 2 months, and then you're just playing against the sweatiest of the sweaties, and it's just not fun. And I feel like that's probably going to happen again, to be honest. Like 2042, I don't think this game's going to last, especially with Halo coming out after. So
how was the beta? I mean, how did it play? Like,
it was Battlefield, so there's fun to be had, and then it's also just chaos and like frustration at the same time. Mm-hmm. When especially like at that scale, it's like I had a lot of fun sniping and just messing around, but then when you're like trying to capture points and there's like 37 dudes from the other team there because there's so many people on the map, and it's like regardless of what you do, you're getting shot in the back by someone because there's people everywhere. So you're just like running in, maybe you'll kill 1 or 2 people, and then someone somewhere is going to kill you from somewhere that you have no idea because there's people everywhere, and then you're just going to die, and then you're going to come back and you're going to do that again, and it just because of the scale, it seems like everything you do is pointless because there's 64 people on your team. And like everyone's doing their own thing, and it's like even if you do really, really well, it doesn't seem like it makes a difference to whether you win or lose.
Do you think people were trying to? So you're saying that it's very much more involved with like you need good teamwork to have success, and people just didn't give a shit, or
that's part of it, but also just the scale. Even like when there was like 32 people per team in like the older Battlefield's, like what you get a good squad together, you can make a real difference. But now it's double. So even if you got like your 4 people with you and you're getting super sweaty, you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
It's like that much harder to make a difference, right? Because you could be like, okay, let's go take this point, and then there's 40 people there from the other team.
People there just
and then there's a helicopter and a tank. And then a jet overhead, and you're like, okay, I'm going to take down this helicopter, and you're like working it, you're hitting them with the missiles, and then 5 people come around the corner and just slaughter you, and it's just like
just a fucking mess, right?
It
sounds about like Battlefield, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, it definitely sounds about Battlefield.
Yeah, that's what I say. There's the good, where you're having fun, you're messing around with a helicopter, or you're running around, running people over with a truck. And this has a grapple hook that's super fun, and but it's still that
goddamn grapple hooks, man.
That conquest mode is it's even more chaotic. So I don't know how fun, how much I'd want to play that game.
Okay, so 2021 is the year of the grapple hook, huh? Just everything's gonna.
Oh, you
Well,
mean?
I mean,
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
like just games coming out all seem to have grapple hooks. It's they're all following the Pathfinder meta.
Yeah, that's because Pathfinder's super fun.
Yeah. So that's interesting. I didn't get a chance to play it. I very much daydream about playing Battlefield 4 and how much fun I had with that game.
Yeah.
So I really hope they don't screw the pooch on this. I didn't get. I heard nothing but bad things though. That's why I'm actually pretty upset. I thought like EA is like, hey, we're gonna pull all these studios to make them just work on Battlefield. Like we need all hands on deck on this because they have a ton riding on it. And it's like, how are you gonna fuck this up?
Yeah.
How you gonna mess this up? Like you guys are like Call of Duty's coming. Like Call of Duty is coming out.
It's a
Halo
World
is
War
coming
II
out.
though. Like Vanguard, I don't think that's going anywhere.
No, Vanguard's gonna flop so hard. But still, there you get your COD people that are gonna buy COD because they just buy COD. And,
Yeah.
You know, that's like the reality of the situation. But Battlefield, like this was their chance, and it's got to be good.
Well-
And I'm just feeling like they're like everything I'm hearing is that they're gonna fuck it up again.
Well, it's like playing it. It's good. It feels like Battlefield, and it's new, so that it's got good things going for it. One of the biggest problems for me is like I'm not gonna buy it. I might get EA, whatever Origin Plus or whatever the hell it is, premium EA desktop, whatever the frick it's called.
Ooh,
Like it costs $20 a month. I'll do that.
Yeah.
So I'm basically renting that game because I think it's gonna die in a month.
Okay.
And there's no single player campaign, so I'm not buying it.
Wait, there's not?
No,
I wonder why they decided to go with that choice.
because they're dumb.
I mean, people like the Battlefield stories. They're like cringe action movie stories, but like
Yeah.
I feel like people really like them. Like I
Well-
thought 4 had a fun campaign.
I like them all. Like Call of Duty tried this years ago. I can't remember which game it was, but they didn't put a campaign in it. Everybody was pissed, and like the game did not sell well.
I think that was Black Ops 4
It might have
because it had all the
been.
hero characters in it. It did not have a campaign, and it was sucky. The game was not very good.
Yeah, it's
I did not love.
you think
Black
they would
Ops
learn
4.
like because it's like yes you get the data right, like they get the data back saying that not everyone plays the campaign or finishes the campaign, blah blah blah. It's like people still like having it even if the
Yep.
people don't play it. Like to them it feels like they're getting a better value.
Yep.
And yes, I'm not going to play the campaign as much as multiplayer, but I'll play like the 6-hour campaign, enjoy it, and then put 100 hours into multiplayer.
Yeah. What's a false sense of value, right? Like you said it perfectly. It's a false sense of value. You think you're getting a good deal.
Yeah.
There's a campaign. You don't. You still feel like at least you're getting something. Versus like, hey, they cheaped out. You're a lot less likely to forgive the issues in multiplayer because all you had to do was get the fucking multiplayer right.
Yeah, so whatever it is, $80 or whatever the price is for a multiplayer only game, when Halo is coming out free to play multiplayer like a month later, that's bad.
They pushed Battlefield back, so it's like within a week of Halo. That's But we got to talk about Halo because that's where we're going next. So this is a perfect segue. Did you play the beta for Halo Infinite?
I played the first flight and I played the last flight, and I didn't play the
Yeah.
one in between.
Goddamn, it's amazing. How did you feel? I thought it was great.
Like the first one, like the majority of it was just against bots.
Yeah.
And it was so much fun. And
Really?
they started off with easy bots and they made the bots harder, then they made them harder, and then they started to slowly open up maps. Like I think they ended up with 3 maps that first weekend, and then at the very end they let you play Team Slayer against other real people.
Okay.
But even just playing the bots was ridiculous amount of fun because like my internal competition was like I'm trying to get more kills than everyone I'm playing with that's on my team. So I'm like, oh, this guy went like 15-2. I want to go 20-1. So like it was just so much fun, and it felt new, like it had modern movements, but it still felt like Halo. Like it's just that
It still very much felt like Halo.
a little bit of like floatiness, but not too much. They had the tactical sprint, which I like,
I like the sprint too. I think people that complain about Halo having sprint are boomers. I think like you fucking go yell at your lawn or something, because it is so much better to be able to sprint than just walking.
And then it's still Halo because there's still like jump back, throw that nade on the ground because someone's rushing at you. Like the guns,
grab hammer and guns and
feel so Halo. But then they've added in like the grappling hook, and they've like the new guns are cool, and
yep, they are.
It's like the maps are smart. It was like really, really, really good for like just a test flight. It was amazing.
Yeah. I didn't play the first one, but I played during the off hours of the most recent run. And during the off hours, you could play against the bots, and dude, it was fun. Farming the bots was a fucking good time. You felt like a god among men. You're just like making it rain, and you're getting all these kills, and you're hitting all these ridiculous shots, and like the bots don't know what to do. It's like, this is fun. Like, this is Halo. This is classic. This is great.
Was it just the team, like this Team Slayer bots you were playing against?
Yes, it was Team Slayer bots.
Team Battle?
It was Team Slayer bots.
Okay, yeah, I did that on the last one just to get into it, and my team won 50-2. It wasn't like that in the original test flight. It's like they made the bots get to a point where it was 50-30, something like the bots could actually kill you. They were like really good with grenades. They weren't dumb. And then I tried the bots on the last one, and it was just a slaughter. Like I think I went like 25-0 or something against them. It was insane. I'm like, what they do to the bots? They like completely changed them.
I was like, these bots are great. I was like, this is amazing. I'm so good at this game. I'm like, we'll see later when they open the lobbies back up how I do. And I played big team. The vehicles are fucking sweet, dude. The vehicles feel good. The guns feel good. The balance feels good. The map that I played on felt really good. I have nothing, but I think Microsoft is back. I think Halo is back.
Yeah.
I think 343 is gonna fuck the campaign up. I think it's gonna be terrible. But I think the gameplay is good and the multiplayer is going to be good, and it's free. I think like we talked about, too big to fail. There's no way it fails. It's fucking free Halo.
Yeah.
Give me it.
It being free and it like feeling as good as it does, and then all that like armor customization and the gun skins and like it's going to be a success. Like
I think so too.
At least the multiplayer, as far as the campaign goes, like that you actually have to pay for the campaign. It's not free.
Yeah,
but it's free on Game Pass. And I probably
there's no co-op campaign at launch either. It's only solo campaign. Yeah, which is weird because most people play Halo with a friend.
Yeah, I will still probably enjoy the campaign. If not the story, I'll enjoy the gameplay. Like the story for 5 is like. People don't like it, but I still enjoyed playing through that game. Like it looks.
I did 4. I tried doing 4, the campaign of 4 recently on stream, and it just was. I was like, this is fucking weird, dude. Like I don't know what they did with Chief. I don't know what 343 thinks Master Chief is, but I don't know. For me, it was like a mostly silent badass, like almost like Doomslayer light, like Doomslayer without the gore is what I thought of as Chief. They had like a blue girlfriend, and now I don't know, the monologue or the dialogue with him and Cortana in 4 was just a little much for me, and I just couldn't take it.
I don't remember. I just remember like the story taking like a steep dive after the third one, but I still enjoyed playing through the campaigns. It wasn't like I just liked the gameplay. I thought it was fun. Like I remember specifically being like super hyped about like the especially 2 and 3, like the story. Like it was really enjoyable. And then after that, I don't remember any positive feelings about the stories, but I still remember liking the games.
3 had a good story. ODST was an amazing story. Reach was the best story, honestly. Reach was like fantastic. 4 was fucking weird. I have never played 5, so I gotta get back to you on Halo 5. It was console only.
They never brought it to good.
They never brought it to PC at all. They're like, we're not bringing it to PC. We don't care about 5. They're like, let's just forget about 5.
Like it just like looked it looked really good especially for it being on an Xbox One, which is a trash can of a machine. It's still like it looked good and it felt good. And like I just remember playing. I'm like, wow, this game looks so good for when it came out and like what it's running on. Like it was just really smooth and like looking really good. So I just enjoyed playing through, even though the story was really dumb and like there's a lot of stuff I didn't like about it. I still liked playing the game.
Just gawked it, like just gawking at like Power Rangers basically and all the space stuff. I don't blame you. I get it. It's fun to look at a pretty game. I liked it. I mean, I like looking at Halo 4. Halo 4 story was terrible, but Halo 4, which was like an Xbox 360, Xbox One like launch window title, looks really good. I think 343's like technical prowess is probably some of the best. I think they know how to make a game look good. I just don't know about their writing. So it's yet to be seen. But honestly, anymore, you want to make money? Look at Fortnite. They had a story mode. They gave up on it because they're printing fucking money on the multiplayer. That's just kind of it really is somewhat where it's at. Like if you have a good multiplayer, like really good multiplayer, and it's free, probably gonna save you.
Yeah.
Maybe they should have thought about making Battlefield free, but I don't think that they can take that financial risk.
Well,
EA.
But you think they would have learned from Apex Legends, which is a free game, which just makes them tons of money. That like, hey, we're not gonna have a campaign, so maybe we should release this and just put a battle pass in, put in some premium skins. I feel like
people pay for COD though. People keep paying for fucking COD. I think that's the only reason why. I think if COD went free, which I feel like COD should be free at this point,
but COD has a campaign now.
It does,
and
it very much does.
It does have. It still has Warzone, which is free.
Yeah, which is just the battle royale.
Yeah.
So, it just depends on what your thoughts are.
But like, if it's multiplayer only, I don't think Call of Duty is going to release another multiplayer only game for full price anymore. I think they learned their lesson. I think Battlefield should have already known that.
We'll see. It's Activision. It's Activision and EA, the two scummiest companies known to man. So we'll see. Yeah, we really don't know. I mean, we'll see. I wouldn't be surprised if Call of Duty says, "Hey, this is our new Call of Duty," and there's no campaign.
But they already did it, and it didn't work. So
yeah. I think it's one of those things where they're going to keep pushing it until it becomes acceptable, and then they're like, "Yeah, we got them this time."
Yeah, but it won't. That's just, it never will, because there's so much free to play. Like if you just want to play multiplayer, there's so much free to play stuff out there.
Yeah,
and there's going to be bigger lobbies, more people playing, new people playing all the time. So if you're not good, at least you have like contemporary people to play with. Whereas those paid games, after a month or two, it's just the sweaties that are still playing those games. There's no new players coming in. No one's going to pay $60 7 months after a game comes out to buy that game to get into it. So if you're just an average player who just like, plays a couple times a month, you just want to play with your friends, you're not going into those games because they're sweat fests.
No, yeah, I fucking hate it. So no, I agree. I don't know. We'll see. I think this is the year for Halo. I think this is the one. I think after the Battlefield beta was kind of not great. I think after Call of Duty's on a World War II era game, which no one tends to care about, this could be the one. This could be like the year for Halo. This could be the year Microsoft bounces back, and between Game Pass and Halo multiplayer, it just reeks in the profits. Finally,
there is no real competition for Halo. That's the same.
Splitgate.
The Splitgate ain't it.
You don't like? Oh, I'm a huge Splitgate.
Splitgate's good, but it's not Halo.
It's not Halo.
Like when you take away grenades, you change the fundamental gameplay. They took away grenades and they gave us portals. Yeah, which is fun. It's its own thing, but it's like it's not going to touch Halo. You
think it's gonna die when Halo releases? Like I've been playing it a lot lately. I'm pretty sure it's gonna fucking die when.
I feel like it's already dead. Like many? Like if you could look up Steam numbers right now, like how many people are playing Splitgate right now? A couple thousand? Like not many.
I bet it's not even a couple. Yeah,
thousand. So the game's dead already. Like it had a weird Like, I played it before it came out, and then it just kind of came out with no fanfare.
So I think you're gonna be surprised. Okay,
what, like 10 grand?
No, it's a 6,000 right now.
Oh, okay. But that's not, you know.
Well, over the last 3 months, it had an astronomical. In August, it had a rise to the fucking moon of 67,000 concurrent players.
And then it's got 1/10 of that.
Yeah.
And how many of those players are going to leave when Halo comes out free to play?
All of them. All of them.
I would say all
one
of
them. There's nothing to keep them there.
But like maybe 70% of them, and then what? There's like 2,000 people left playing it, and then it gets hard to get into games, and like. Splitgate is not competition for Halo. Like Apex and like Warzone and Fortnite aren't competition for Halo, because it's a different game. Like not everyone wants to play battle royales all the time. Like I like battle royales, but I don't want to play them all the time. And I love team deathmatch, and that's what Halo.
What do you think the most played game on Steam is right now?
New World.
CS:GO.
Oh, there's like tournaments and shit going on.
400,000 people playing CS:GO. 408 on CS:GO, 401 on New World. So New World's pretty close. New World is goddamn Jeffrey Bezos, man. The Bezos RPG. But
that's like fallen down by half already. What's it been, a month? There's about half as many people. We'll see where it is next month, right?
Yeah, like New World peaked at 900K, which is pretty high.
Yeah,
pretty high. So it is definitely half of what it had.
Yeah, which is still good to retain half those players. But we'll see what happens in a month when, like, it gets to end game content and there's nothing to do.
Can you believe there were 3 million fucking people playing PUBG at one point?
Yeah, I believe it, because
that's the most played game in Steam of all time is goddamn PUBG.
Because that was Battle Royale in its heyday when people were there. That was the one place you got it, really. And
it's still in the top 10. It's still chilling in the top 10 of games played on Steam. It's number 11. I'm sorry. It's number 11 still, even right now.
Yeah, I believe it. Like,
I can't. That blows my mind.
Well, people like when they get you're into a game, right? Like that's like look at WoW. Mm-hmm. After all these years, there's still so many people playing that game. It's like you get in, like I'm still playing Apex, and it's like, wow, this season hasn't been great. But
PUBG hits 300K a day, dude. It's very consistent. It hits 300,000 players a day is where it peaks. That is, I don't know I don't know what to do with this information. I can't believe there's that many people still fucking around in PUBG, dude. The success is insane.
Well, like
I thought the game was washed.
I feel like it feels different enough, and it's got like its own different. It doesn't feel like Apex or Fortnite or Warzone. Like it's got its own feel, and some people just like that feel, and they can't get it anywhere else, right? And it's
the most realistic one, right? As far as realism, right? Yeah. It is definitely the most realistic.
Yeah, and
it just blows my mind.
Like people who like that feel, that's what they're gonna play, and they're still they're always working on it,
Yeah, we keep adding all kinds of weird cosmetic stuff. So I mean, that's a machine that I can't believe is still moving, but it still is. God damn! Wow, that is a big number. I did not think PUBG was still doing that. You learn something new every day, I guess. I guess you learn something new every day. Jesus Christ! Like, hello, people. YouTube, are you playing PUBG? Hello?
Well, look at CS:GO and CS or CS Source, whatever the one is that everyone's playing. That game is still doing crazy numbers after all these years.
That's a worldwide phenomenon, though. I know that's huge in Europe. It's part of European culture almost. FIFA and goddamn CS:GO.
I feel
they just love it.
PUBG is like the CS:GO of battle royales. And
you think so?
It's probably really popular everywhere.
Probably is. I mean, I remember it was very popular worldwide when it was at its heyday. You know, because you'd get all kinds of proximity chat of different languages and stuff. So, damn. Somehow in what world did we end up from the tangent of Halo to PUBG? But hey, that's the Banana Podcast, right? Yeah. So why don't you we've talked about what we've been playing. What are you playing now? Well, what is the game what is your current game that you're stuck on? What have you been really enjoying?
Well, as usual, messing around in Apex, way less than I used to because it's just hasn't been that interesting. And the new hotness is Back 4 Blood.
Oh, okay. Okay, tell me about it.
And that game is amazing. I can't explain, like, I don't even understand why it's so good to me.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, it is, like, I'm always thinking about going back and playing it. It's just, it provides, like, just the right amount of challenge that it's like, it feels like it's impossible, but at the same time, you know it's possible. And the AI director's, like, card system and your own card systems, and just, like, the randomness of, like, you know, you go inside the store in the safe house and it's gonna have different things and different upgrades, and it's just like you could play it once and be like, this is impossible, like nothing you can do to get away with this, and you play that exact same level the next time and it's so much easier just because of, like, the way the cards are dealt and, like, what's in the store, and it's just like, it's so interesting.
How many campaigns are there? Is it like is it like Left 4 Dead where there's like
33 levels?
So there's 3 levels, like
4
3
acts.
actual campaigns.
There's 4 acts. Yeah, but the last one is just like a boss fight.
So is it just the one playthrough? It's not like multiple different like mini storylines like a Left 4 Dead where it had like the swamp and then the carnival and the hospital and.
Well, it's like there's like 4 acts. The first act is like 12 levels, and it's like It's just level after level after level, and, like, I don't know what they plan to do in the future. But yeah, it's like if you're not playing on Recruit, which is like the easiest level, which I haven't even tried yet, but if you're just playing on Veteran, which is like the medium level, like, you're not getting through that fast unless you're like some sort of magician. Because it is insanely hard.
Okay. I played the beta, and I think that had like 3 or 4 levels, so I didn't really get a good grasp on like what it was going to be. But I think you've kind of persuaded me to go back to it because I felt like the game did not have a lot going on. I did feel like it was pretty difficult. Like, it was a very hard game, but like I feel like the payoff wasn't there. I don't know if the gameplay loop just felt dated to me, or what it was. But obviously, I mean, you're loving it, so that's the most important thing.
Yeah.
It had some of the best gunplay of like anything I've played in a while.
It's like the card system really, and like just the randomness of it adds a lot. But like, I wasn't in love with it after the first few levels, and I've been playing with Mr. Friendship. He didn't love it right away, but like at this point in the game, we're both like, this game is amazing.
Okay,
like we just want to play it all the time, and I think it's definitely the difficulty has something to do with it, but that like just like you could just change your character with the cards so differently that like you could just switch your cards around, use different cards, and you're playing like a different, like your character just feels so different depending on what cards you apply.
Like build diversity?
Yeah, like just the different builds, and even like you don't get to use like all your cards in your build, right? But like just applying different cards to your character will make you make it feel so much different that it's like, okay, I've tried it this way, I'm gonna like rebuild my deck and try it a different way for this particular level. And it just makes it so different. Like it's insane.
It probably keeps it fresh. Like you say, you know, you're doing like is it more like along the line, like I know I had an ability that would make bullets penetrate more or something like that. Is that typically kind of how the cards go? Or
well,
like I know there's one that makes you find more money that I heard about.
Yeah, there's some that'll be like your stamina plus 20% and your movement speed plus 5%. And then there's like, you know, extra health, or there's like extra grenades, or there's like 30% reload speed on shotguns and 20% damage with shotguns.
Okay,
stuff like that. So like if like you say a lot of stamina and speed cards, you're noticeably faster than everyone else on your team. Like it's
you're just cracked out of your mind.
You're just running around like a maniac. But then, you know, if you like that's not like conducive to that level because you have to stay in a certain area to fight a boss, then maybe you want to go for a damage build or like 20% extra damage on weak spots or something like that.
So you're adding like build dynamics to the game.
Yeah.
Okay, and now that interests me. That very much interests me. The build
Yeah.
dynamics. I think that's something.
And it's like a puzzle you have to solve sometimes. Some of those levels, like you play them a few times, you're just like, this just isn't working. This character, these weapons I'm using, and then you kind of like, okay, you think about like, the objectives are the same, but like the enemies will vary and like different things will change. Like sometimes it'll be at nighttime, sometimes there'll be fog, sometimes there'll be more birds. Sometimes, like, if you get, like, the guts on you from those dudes that explode, it'll call an extra horde in. So, like, you just have to, like, kind of, like, counter the cards that are dealt to you at the same time as, like, building your deck, like, for that particular level. So there's, like, a little bit of problem solving in it. And then there's just the crazy action of the game. And, like, all the guns feel different. Like the
guns felt good. The guns in the beta, like they had a firing range. They all felt fucking amazing. So the gunplay, they definitely hit it out of the park on that.
And it's like a give and take. Like a card that everyone really likes, I feel, and like is like there's a 2 is 1 and 1 is none. It's called, and you get 2 primary weapons. So you don't have to use your side weapon. You could have a shotgun and a sniper rifle, or you could have a full bore SMG and like an AK, but it also reduced your weapon swap speed by 25%. So there's things like that.
It's worth it. I feel like that's so very worth it.
Oh, it definitely is. But then there's a card that's like reload speed plus 50%. So you reload 50% better, but then you can't ADS. So there's like stuff like that, and it's just like I look at my deck and I get a new card, and I'm just like, what the hell am I supposed to do here? Like, I don't want to get rid of, like, say, this one card where melee kills give me 2 health every time I do a melee kill. But then I'm like, I really want this other card. But that, like, it's just... And then there's, like, team cards. It's, like, plus 10% ammo capacity for everyone on your team. But it's like...
I'm kind of into this.
Or do I want to do the 25% ammo just for me? Like, it's... There's so much that goes into those decks. Like, I haven't got my head around building the perfect deck yet. But I feel like
there's definitely something there for me, even though I initially did not. I think the card.
Yeah, there's 15 cards you get into a deck. Like your top card, you automatically get. Mine is like you switch your like punching melees to a knife, so it's like a one-shot kill. But then like depending on how you have your cards prioritized in your deck, those are the ones you get to choose first. So you put your favorite cards at the top of your deck, so then you get to pick from those ones.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
By beating levels, you get supply points or whatever, and that's when like you have different 3 different supply lines, and that's how you buy your cards with the money that you get from beating levels. And then you can kind of like look at them and be like, oh, this card like 6 cards down that costs 100 supply points. That's the 2 primary weapon card. I want to do this supply line. Yes,
that's the gameplay loop. You want to. Okay.
So even like is a little bit of a roguelike, because like say you're going on a run and you die on the 3rd level, sometimes you have to start back from that first one again. But if you beat those first 2, you're going to get some supply points. You'll get you some different cards, and you're like, oh, I think there's this one card where if you crouch, you don't take team damage or deal team damage. So if you're crouched, that's a big thing. But like, do I want that, or do I want one of these other things? There's so much into it. So like, even when you're failing, which I've done for hours,
we all have,
you're getting you're getting more cards, and like you're gonna get that card that you need that's gonna get you what you want.
That's dude. That sounds so. I've just been playing Forza, so like. I've been playing Forza Horizon 5, and that just sounds like so much more deep than what I have. I've just been driving around doing burnouts and racing people. I've just been doing big burnouts and putting weird anime paint jobs on weird cars. So, I mean, I don't know. I feel like I've not had the experience you have, but, Horizon 5 is coming out soon, and I've been I came back to Horizon 4 and been playing it again. I'm just like, God damn, this is fun. Like, I like racing games.
The funny thing about that, like the Horizon series, is like I've always been like a motorsports person. Like I like the motorsports lines, but then if I go and I look in like say like my Xbox things and I'll tell you how long you've played the games, I've played Horizon like 10 times longer than any motorsports game.
There's so much stuff to do in Horizon. I get on Horizon, it's like there's dailies and weeklies, and it's like, what is this, a goddamn fucking live service MMO game? Like, I'm over here doing daily quests and shit. Like, I love it. It's so engaging.
Honestly, like, I played that game a lot. Like, I don't know how much, to tell you the truth, but, like, you know, I've, like, you know, got all the billboards and got all driven on every road and got all the barn finds, and I've, like, all those little check boxes, and like raced in every race that was available at the time, and did all those little side quests. I did everything in that game, like when it came out.
Collectathon.
But I went into that game recently, and there was so much more stuff that I'm like, this is too much. I can't look at this.
You got to stay in. It's almost like a live service game that you have to stay up on.
It was like going into an Assassin's Creed map when you have everything turned on and you just look and it's just like a billion icons and you're like, no, and that's how it was.
No, I don't think that I will. It's like there's a lot, dude. There's a lot. But it's fun.
All the stuff I did in that game, I'm like, you know, I've almost completed this game like 100%. Is how I felt. Like none of the DLC, but just the base game. And then I go back into it. And it's like, oh yeah, we've added like a million things since last time you played this game. And I'm just like, no, I don't think I want this.
Like, no, I've been playing it a couple times a week for hours, and I just am very much enjoying it. Horizon 5's coming.
No.
I am just, give me the Forza. So I'm super excited about that. But this week, I am going to start a new game. I don't know if you're going to keep playing Back 4 Blood, but I am dipping my toe in the water with Hunt Showdown. Have you played that?
Honestly, I cannot tell you. Because it's one of those things where I've watched a good amount of that game. Like, lots of people stream it. And I'm, like, racking my brain. It's like, was that me playing it? Or was that someone I watched? Does that ever happen to you when you watch a lot of Twitch? Where like you watch
I'll fall asleep watching Twitch and I'm like, wait, did that happen to my stream or was that someone else's stream? Like, I'll fall asleep. I'm just like, what the fuck's going on? So yeah, I get it.
I feel like I've played that game. Like I have distinct memories, but then I'm like, I don't think I've actually played it. I think I just watched people play that game for like 6 hours one day. I'm like conflating that with my own memory. But I do know what that game is for like 100%.
So I'm super excited for it. If I've been waiting on it to go on sale, it's finally on sale. We're gonna roll into it. So I'll report back next week with how I feel about Hunt, and then what do you think you're gonna play this week? Anything new, or are you gonna keep doing Back 4 Blood? Well,
I'm not done Back 4 Blood, so I'm definitely gonna keep chipping away at that game. There's a new season of Apex coming out with a new map, which is gonna be interesting.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely gonna at least play some of that. And
okay, I'll probably do some Apex as well, actually.
I'm trying to think of the release schedule. What's coming out? Like, say,
I don't
even
think there's anything
Game Pass.
crazy. I don't think there's anything crazy coming. I think the 11th with GTA is probably the next big release, in Forza on the 9th.
Yeah. So yeah, it's probably just Back 4 Blood and some Apex, and who knows? Who knows? Maybe something else.
Yeah. Well, you know what? This has been good. This has been fun. It's been great being back. It's been great talking to you. Been great talking to everybody else. And you know what? We'll report back next week. And this has been good. I'm glad we did this. And here's to trying to be more active at this and doing it every week, like we said we're going to. So if you guys are interested, you like this, make sure you hit the like button. Might want to hit subscribe. That's up to you. Thumbs up, you know, all the YouTube shit. Or even go down below to the links in the comments and maybe go follow us on Twitch. Mr. Man over here has not gotten his Twitch affiliate, and you go on there, you push him to stream a little bit, he sees some follows, he might come back. If you want to come back, check out my streams. I do stream on Tuesday, Thursday, Saturdays, and Sundays. You guys can catch me playing a little bit of everything, and I would love nothing more than for you to come check us out both, because, you know, a couple good guys here, I gotta say. But until then, I'll see you guys next week, and have fun.
Bye.